Right, so this is what we're going to be using to create our bioethanol burner. It's an old scrap stove. It's come out of the house. Leave the bath plates warped, twisted, stuck in place. No idea of the brand. It's obviously a gas stove, but it is damaged, so it's never going to get repurposed for use inside someone's home. So I'm going to turn it into a bioethanol burner. Okay, so the first thing I've got to consider is the paint that I'm going to be using. What I've got here is we've got high temperature paints, two different brands. This one's a quarter of the price. We use it for spray and closure plates and what have you. This is pretty expensive, but it's extremely good quality high temperature paint. Problem with these two paints is they are porous, so they don't keep the water out. And the stove's going to live outside, so we're going to experiment and we're going to use this Timco black metal paint. Literally never used it before. Not very expensive, $5.75 a can in the shop, as opposed to this, which is £22. Yeah, I've got no choice though, because it's going to go outside, so we'll just have to see how it copes with the heat. I can't imagine the bioethanol burner itself is going to be massively hot. It's not going to be anything like wood, for example, or smokeless fuels. So hopefully this will do the job and stop it from rusting. Right, next thing to show you is the burner itself. So this just came from eBay. It is a stainless steel box with a lid. Inside you'll see some wool material in there. See that? So that soaks up the bioethanol, makes it a little bit safer. It means it's not sloshing around inside there. So if for whatever reason it gets knocked, it's unlikely to spill. Comes with a stainless steel handle as well. That just goes in there. That opens and closes it, so clearly you can put it out if you're mid-burn. It does say in the instructions though, don't just put it straight out. Let it cool down a little bit, so gradually turn it down. But yeah, that's it. So that's what we're going to make fit inside the stove. Okay, that's the stove all cleared out. Bath plate's been removed. What I thought was, if we put the bioethanol burner in there at that level, when you close the door, flames are going to be down low. So what we're going to do instead is pop back in the original components that held the grate, do a few little cutouts on there so that sits down a little bit lower. That means the flame will be slightly higher. Should be able to see it better through the glass when it's burning. We're going to go and see how we get on. Okay, so that's the cutout done on the grate, and if we just pop that in there, slides down nicely inside it, nice and secure. And when we shut that door, the flames should be just at the glass level there. What we're not going to do though, we've got these original grate bars up in there, something like that. There's 3 of them. But I think we'll leave them out so we can see that flame a little bit easier. Right, next stage, give it a bit of a clean up, wire wool, wire brush, and then get the glass out, start thinking about spraying it. Okay, so that's it sprayed. I'm going to OTT with it, but cleaned off the rust with a wire brush, and I've taken out the rope seals, I've taken out the glass as well, and as predicted the top bolts were seized and they've snapped off. So for the time being I think I'll leave the glass out and see how it performs. It might be that the wind gets in there and blows the flames around, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. And I'm going to see if I can find myself scrap flue pipe for it as well, just to add on, but I think that'll do for now. I don't want to go too OTT because I don't know how well it will work. One thing I did notice the other day though when I was fitting a different bioethanol burner, one that was done by one of the big manufacturers, was they had vent holes in the top here. Now I know, because I've tried it in the past with one of the stoves on display in the showroom, that if you just run a pot of bioethanol in there, the byproduct must be water. So you end up with a lot of condensation building up inside and it rusts the stove from the inside out. So if we're going to leave the top open like that, hopefully that'll act as a decent vent, and if not, then I guess we'll have a look at perhaps adding some bits into the side later for improved ventilation. It's going to go up the caravan, sit on that stand, So once it's in there, get it lit, and yeah, so we go. So here we are, the caravan, burners on, and I think it looks pretty good. Full disclosure though, we had it on the other night, had some friends around for a barbecue, and there's a few things that I've worked out already. Firstly, the glass almost certainly needs to go back in, stop the flames from blowing around quite so much. Notice as well that the heat does really just head straight up out here. Although the heat impact isn't crazy, it's not going to melt this, but what we thought was perhaps if we put something on the top here to deflect the heat a little bit, stop it from going rushing straight out, maybe some sort of cap will help disperse the heat. I mean, clearly this is never going to heat an outdoor space, but I figure we might as well harvest all the energy from it that we can anyway. Another little thought as well was that perhaps it might be worth trying to find some bioethanol with an added citronella in it, because we are up here in the forest and there's one or two midges. So I guess this would be pretty handy and a pretty cool way of getting rid of the midges as well, but I'll be honest, I'm pretty happy with it so far. Definitely going to make some modifications. And so far, so good. And I guess that's it. End of episode 1 of bioethanol stove build. Looking forward to getting on to the next stage and see what modifications we can add to it. Happy days.